this is the last piece that I actually made. For the last one, I knew I wanted to do like either like 2 figures or 3, and it kind of just happened to be like 2 of them laying on like one each other, which I like really loved how it came out. For me, I was trying to figure out like whose like arm was whose hand was who, because while I was like drawing it, everything was kind of getting jumbled together. This one is actually like a portrait of me. Like I had started using myself as the figure because I didn't have anyone to kind of like reference, and so I was literally just trying to like do something in the mirror that I could fathom, and I kind of named this one Don't Look Back because I was literally just like in the mirror. Like this one I really loved. I put some like faux fur behind it too, and I knew that I wanted her to have like kind of like brown skin as well, so I picked brown tones, purple and blue, that kind of all went together. So this one is called A Woman's Worth. Like honestly, I'm a huge like FKA Twigs fan, and it's kind of like named after like her lyrics. And this one I just wanted her to be like very strong, kind of like a dancer. A lot of these positions I kind of wanted to be like very flowy and open. But yeah, I really love this one just like for the pastels and her flowy hair and just like how much power she kind of like exudes. It's also FKA Twigs like lyric too. For me, they're extensions of myself, and in term like little characters, creatures, avatars that I like to call them. And I kind of just feel like when people even like look at women, sometimes it's kind of what comes to them as well. This one is called Sacred Geometry. When I actually like put it up to, people were saying that it kind of seems like a portal that's kind of like pulling you, and she's like really, I kind of love that it gives that energy, that kind of like powerful dynamic of the woman like being open and also just being like vulnerable too, like with her head laying down. I started also to, instead of like putting afros, I just put like very long curly hair. I always kind of put afros on the Femis because I have an afro, but then I just got into this because I just really love the way that it flowed. I kind of like love when kids see the work because they're obviously not seeing it the way that we're seeing it. It's like little kids at the fair, they were like, oh my god, because their parents were like, oh, which one do you like? And they were like, that one. And they were like, it reminds me of like a dinosaur. They honestly just see it for like the color and the form and the shape, which is kind of how I want people to be able to see the Femis too, like that, and not just in a very sexualized way. I think this one is just called Femi Fur, and I just kind of wanted this to really just be like a circular kind of rug, and I actually covered like the whole of this, so it's like a halo around her. Don't Look Back piece again. So like originally I'd made this in the brown and the blue, and I just kind of added the green just for like to switch it up a little bit. But this pose, like people really like love this piece, so I was like, okay, I'll just make it in a different color for you guys. This is the largest piece that I made. It's like called Didn't I Do It For You, and I just wanted this one to be like very retro, like because of like all the colors. Try not to like abide by like the shadow and like light and stuff. I'm just kind of like going with like whatever the vibe is like giving to me like in that kind of moment. For this one, like I really love her because I used like a different yarn that's kind of like speckled and kind of like multicolored, and I kind of had stopped using that kind of yarn. I was going into more solids, but I think it gives her kind of like a more interesting edge, even like on the hair too. Like I would love to dye my afro like that. Like it's so cool. So this one is called Creatures of Desire, which is like really special because it's the name of the show as well. And for me, like while creating this, I kind of just wanted the Femis to all be together and kind of like surrounding each other, kind of like support. You know, I feel like we need that now more than ever. And I kind of just wanted them to be like on top of one another, but I really love this piece. You can also see like there's a Femi too on the bottom. Some people like kind of miss it, but she's also there too. I love looking at myself in the mirror, and I also love taking photos. And I know people love that too, especially when people come to view shows and stuff like that. That's one thing that gets people in, is like if you have a mirror or something that they can see themselves in, they automatically love it. But it's a bonus too because it's like a bright color and a really like wacky shape too. Like, they're just like a piece of fun you can have. This piece is called As I Lay, and when I was actually like making the piece, I had her vertical. You can actually put some of these pieces like any kind of way that you like, which is something I really love too, is the viewer or the person who has it is able to kind of like put it however they want, so it gives the person a little bit more freedom. So yeah, she's kind of just laying down, taking a little nap. This piece is also like one of my favorites because for me, I just kind of wanted the Femis to be dancing, so it's called like Burst into Bloom. And I just wanted to have a little fun with this, kind of like adding some like jazz or like musical elements like to the piece. And this one I actually didn't put a lot of colors in, and I really love that because you're just kind of, the shapes kind of like disappear within each other, kind of like they're dancing with one another. And I also have the faux fur on that too. That's like becoming like one of my favorites.